Kavan! Welcome, everyone. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are back for what I suspect will be the final part of our current Broken Sword adventure. Tonight, we are doing Star Trek Adventures Part 4. Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword Woebegone Part 4. For those of you ever wanting to join us live, if you're watching here in the archives, you can follow the link in order to watch this show. You can actually expend channel points here on Twitch in order to affect the difficulty of rolls, supply, threaten momentum, create other interesting story circumstances.
I've got a couple of thousand, but I can't use them on my own game.
Yes.
I got spanked for that.
I'll tell you what. We'll open it up to instructing the GM to do self-care. That's fine, but otherwise you have to go to. In your case, Sean, you have to go to the Saturday game. That's our Aegis game, which runs Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
See, I helped with a segue.
Yeah. And you helped with an extra bit of that segue because we have just a few promotional notes. One of them will be a special one this time, as we don't often hear from the group there. But Rev, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on.
Hello, it is I, Rev. So, as I have said every so often, when new announcements come up, I work with the Empire at War Expanded dev team, making mods for the very popular, very old Star Wars video game, real-time strategy game, Empire at War: Forces of Corruption. For those of you who keep up with the know, Petroglyph, the company that made the game, recently released a new patch, adding significant AI improvements that we'll be able to take advantage of, which is exciting for all of the mods. But also, next month, December, we will be launching the beta version of our new mod set in the Old Republic time period, known as Revan's Revenge. It will have 3 factions, Republic, Empire, Sith Empire, and Mandalorians. Very exciting. So stay tuned. It's coming quickly. And in addition, next month we will be having our Empire at War Expanded Con, where a bunch of us will be getting together on the YouTube channel, talking about what we've done, what we have to look forward to in the upcoming years, and the fact that we've been at this mod for probably way too much of our lives. So look forward to it. If you like real-time strategy, if you like Star Wars, if you like nerdy stuff, it's good things.
Say, I personally enjoy myself many a good mod with Star Wars Empire at War. I am particularly partial to the Fall of the Republic and Thrawn's Revenge mods, so I would say, while we don't have anything for you here right now on Twitch, links will be in the description of the video. Going on around here, let's check with our other players who do more regular streaming here. Joe, how about you go ahead and tell us what you've got going on?
Well, this month and next month, we've been streaming Fallout, some Fallout content in celebration for Fallout for Hope. So far, the Fallout for Hope 2024 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has raised $24,055 and some change. It's a really good cause. If you feel so inclined to make a donation, I'll throw the link for where you can donate at into the chat here in just a second. But it's a really good way for the Fallout community to just raise money for the kids and their families. I've been doing mostly Fallout 4. I'm in the process of writing Fallout, like a episodic fiction book that I'll be sharing on the stream here as soon as I get the first couple of chapters edited. So exciting times ahead.
Yes, definitely, and definitely look into all of that because there's a very worthy cause. While you're doing it, be sure to check out Joe and his OverlandGamer channel. It is also a great way to spend some time, so I wholeheartedly give recommendation to it. And then finally, we have, of course, one other resident streamer on the channel. Caligo, what have you got going on over at your channel?
Well, currently, the biggest project I'm working on, I told you about it a little bit earlier, was I commissioned a expansion to be made for the Halo Mythic system to run an Arknights RPG game, where I am currently collecting some trying to collect some players to run the beta test.
Is Arknights? Let me please ask this. Is Arknights the one where you're driving mechs and you've got like your character and your mech as a character? Is that the right one, or am I thinking something completely different?
I think you're thinking of something else. I think that's Titanfall.
No. It's another. It's mechs, but it's like fantasy mechs. Never mind. I apologize.
It's
I
a
interrupted.
system. I know what you're talking about.
The system?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I was completely totally wrong. I apologize.
Nah, it's the base system is for Halo. But he has done expansions for like Titanfall, Fallout, Azure Lane, and because of that last one, I was just like, fuck it. I will pay him money to make me an Arknights expansion. Arknights being a tower defense game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, at any rate, definitely good stuff, and I would encourage all of you to check out things as news comes out there, because all of my player friends are very talented, very great people, and some of them have some very interesting projects that they are involved in or are otherwise showcasing, and I will always brag about them, either in that context or in for the marvelous role playing they bring to the table. Speaking of that, folks, we've got quite a session to get into because things are starting to look a bit dire. Let us get in with a recap. When last we left off, the crew of the Yan seems to be utterly at the mercy of a mysterious and murderous force. The ship's engineer, Raldar, has disappeared, and given how the captain was found launched out of the very torpedo tubes somehow, it is suspected that, like the captain, Raldar may have been murdered. Decapitating the crew's command structure and killing two of their most experienced engineers has left the Yan in some disarray, with failure to coordinate any unified response. Against this, Woe has felt a particular calling. Our long captive security officer, recently rescued by the crew, feels haunted in every step by some sort of force, some essence, something at once familiar but very much not her own. And she has taken to trying to fight it. She is taking the best step that she can recognize to protect her crew by assembling a plan with the transporter chief that is contingent upon everyone taking steps in turn to be ready. I will ask here, Ray, do you remember the plan well enough to be able to re-explain it to Traven, or would you like me to go back over it here? Because I know that in a moment you will have a scene with Traven.
You might want to go back over it.
Yeah. Well, I'll go
Thank
ahead.
you.
I'll go ahead and re-explain it here, just for those remembering. For in the previous sessions, Woe had helped to search the ship when they were trying to locate Raldar or any trace of what happened, and she had spotted, as others have, an unusual energy signature that had appeared on the cargo bay, some sort of residual bit of scorching with a an energy signature that was difficult to recognize. And after the captain died, and after she had gone a ways to put the computer chips back together in such a way, the captain had to reassemble it after the internal sensors have been just perpetually glitching and remain that way. She realized that there might still be a way to track something inside the ship. Very particularly, she had taken to Croker the proposition of scanning for a bit of energy, believing that she could relay that signature to Croker, and that with the rest of the crew at the ready, they could very easily just beam the thing into the transporter room and have disruptors at the ready and vaporize the bastard if it shows up. But Woe recognized that this thing has only appeared under certain circumstances, and that most likely means her being alone with someone in the crew. It is for that reason that she is going down to the cargo bay now in order to meet with Traven. So we'll jump in from there, I think. If you would like, so what I have in mind for how the scenes can flow here, we can have Woe step into the cargo bay. You get a chance to run down anything with the plan if you want, or just generally chat. Likewise, if Zional has any reaction whilst he is either feeling out with his, or like using his empathy to try to sense whatever this is, anything of the sort. I figure before any major action happens in the cargo bay, if it does there, that we could also do an establishing scene in the cargo bay where, you guys would have a chance to group up. Does that sound fair?
Sounds hunky dory.
Yep. All right. Well, let me just move a token around. And so we will start off today's adventure in the cargo bay. The cargo hold of the Jan Traven has been a source of some mystery for you since these events began unfolding. It is known, for instance, that there is some unusual energy signature, and this was the place where you and Zional had first began trying to locate something. You'd carried on an investigation with more of a hard science orientation with the help of Yeldam, whilst your compatriot, the assassin Zional, or you suspect maybe a little bit, he's at least quartermaster, that he has taken a position in the room, so you are not entirely alone here. The situation is most concerning, to say the least. How would Traven be doing right now, just as a general principle?
Alert, stressed out, very confused.
Yeah.
Mostly he's just trying to go over in his head how this got on the ship, why it's on the ship, and he's just drawing blank.
Yeah. You raise the answer out into the cosmos as if some voice will give you some insight. And the door opens as Woe steps in.
G'day, Trave. How you doing?
I'm stressed, to say the least.
Oh, we all. So, I've called you in here for a reason. I have a plan to capture this, whatever it is. I need your help. So, it only comes out in certain conditions. I've noticed it comes out when I'm alone with someone, and usually when I'm somewhat happy. Does that make sense? Or heightened emotion, maybe not just happy.
Okay.
I need to recreate this with you. I need the rest of the crew to be prepared in the event that this happens. Essentially, I need to use you as bait.
No.
She leans forward and clutches his throat. You don't have a choice in the matter.
The Kazinti lumbers forward towards you, Draven, eventually getting within reach. Would you try to move out of her reach or anything of the sort?
I am going to take a step back. I think we need to talk first.
All right, we can talk. She leans against a crate. Speak your piece.
Whoa. I want you to know that we care about you. And that you are loved and wanted on the ship. However, you have gone through a very, very dramatic experience. And we're
So,
not really sensing other life signs.
so what you're saying is, you think I'm crazy.
No.
She takes one large step forward. You think I'm funny in the head. You think this is all part of my imagination. And I've
I
just
think you're
made
being
it up.
manipulated.
By what?
Who did you come from?
She takes a step back, like she's been slapped in the face. What do you mean by that?
I have no idea what the people we took you from are capable of. Not to, as a matter of fact, you haven't explained anything about them. Do they have the capacity to mess with your brain?
She pauses. Her breathing picks up. She thinks about that. Maybe. Wait. Maybe. She clutches her head briefly. It's not impossible. They do have that capacity. The Kazin. They're all Kazin. Even the ones that aren't Kazin are Kazin. I know that doesn't make sense. She waves her head. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, don't worry. I don't even know what a Kazin is.
It's
You're
a
good.
meme. He points to her. She points to herself. I'm Kazin.
I thought you were Kazinti.
Kazin, Kazinti, it's the same thing. Right?
Oh.
It's just slang. You know, you fucking trill. I don't know what you shorten yourselves, what you call yourselves for fun. But we call you meat sacks, alright? So trill, meat sacks, same thing, different time. We're all about making ourselves better. If we can do that via our brain, it's possible. But this doesn't make me better. So why would they do it?
Why'd you leave?
You saved me.
No. The first time.
I didn't mean to. She looks off in the distance. I didn't mean to. She her gaze lasers back in on you. What would you suggest, if not my plan?
I firmly think that you need to see Kresic.
I've already seen the old man. He's locked away in his medical bay right now.
Well, we the situation kind of put him there, but he does want to see you.
And he can see me after.
What if everybody's dead?
No. The only way to stop everyone from dying is to do what we're doing now.
To potentially put somebody else in a dangerous situation to let them die.
You save many. Even if you lose a few, you save many. But the plan isn't to get you killed, Ning Nong. The plan is to put you, and she holds it up, in our sack and wiggles it at him. See? Same old times. Just like the beginning.
Yeah, that's the first time it was really good, but the first time the captain and the engineer weren't missing.
Mm,
You see why I want to go with your plan, Wo. I do. I've already died once. I don't want to do it again.
and you won't. If it shows up, the plan is to transport her to the other area where all the crew's assembled, and then they shoot her. She smiles, way too many teeth once again. Somehow she seems to have grown teeth.
So I get in the sack.
Yes.
It shows up.
Yes.
Who calls?
What do you mean?
Who calls for the transporter?
I have Cricket waiting on that. The moment we detect a being of any kind of different energy, we pretty much immediately transport them out of this area.
I'm gonna
You
say something
thinking?
that might upset you.
Okay.
We noticed some readings from the whole plate.
Okay.
They were massive electrical readings. Enough that could possibly, maybe, hit your nervous system, affect your motor skills.
Well,
There's a lot of things we don't know, Wo.
Hmm.
give me an let's see. Let's call this reason and command here, with a difficulty of 2.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Would my negotiation focus apply?
Not in this circumstance.
Son of a bitch. Alright.
This is more for you to process through what Traven is bringing up, and try to keep it in your mind as rationally as possible. Which you get a success here, which is enough at least to draw you back to the number of times back in the day. That is to say, back when you were held by your former crew. And when you weren't left alone in your cell in just utter destitution, when they were more actively plying you with whatever methods they had, and of particular great favor with those infernal machines that sent shock into your body with such regularity that drew you utterly taut, that that put your limbs out of any usable condition. It was before that point the closest that you had experienced before you had or before your captivity with them this time had been when when Keg had surprised you in the markets of Zetlor and hit you with that pulse with a weapon that you had not recognized before. Something that shocked, incapacitated, and left you utterly helpless. That's probably as far as your mind is willing to take you to contemplate, because you feel if you let it go back any further, then it would give you further depth, further memory of the torture, and it is not something that needs... What is it even now? Days, weeks? You're not certain anymore. In the time that has passed since you've been freed, it is still too soon. A nerve too raw that this threatens to hit, and you feel it just very slightly for a moment. And I'd say this is even visible to Traven. I'd say it's a moment that just causes that would cause Woe to deflate a little bit. How you carry it from there, I would be willing to say, Woe, that you can regain your composure without too much issue. It's more a question of A, if you desire to do that, and B, what demeanor you would take after.
Woe flinches. Just that just brief sense memory shoots through her, and then she visibly deflates. She slides down the crate that she was leaning on, her head now kind of level with Travian's because she's finally short enough to look him in the eye. She rolls her head back, doing a little arch stretch before sighing. All right. I can't disprove anything you say. But I don't. She turns to look at him. The only thing that's making me feel crazy, the only thing that's making me feel funny in the head on, is how everyone seems to just be fine. When nothing is fine.
You're right. Nothing is fine, but that's why we act the way we act. Whoa, I've been alive 7 times. Every time we panic, every time, everything goes to shit. We can't have it happen right now. We've lost our captain. We've lost our engineer. Those are 2 of the most important people and 2 of the only people other than Kelshaw that can keep this ship running. We have to keep our minds on straight, and we can't panic. There's nothing I want more than to sit and cry and weep over the hero, Tabak. My life is owed to him. That is a payment I cannot give back with him gone. But I can help you. And I can help the crew by keeping my head level, by keeping my head on straight. And to do that, I have to think of all the possibilities, no matter how bad they are.
She nods. I can't disagree with you. Fuck, I wish I could. She stands back up, straightening. All right. Let's go see the doctor.
At which point, I will drop 2 points of threat.
Who made that noise?
Oh no!
What the heck?
As the both of you turn, the deck plating, or rather, you feel an unusual reverberation through the deck plating. The sound of shuffling, noises of boxes moved out of place. seeming rushes of wind.
Oh, 1 second, sorry. Try to make sure I get the name right. Okay, Zionol. Very funny. Ha ha ha. Stop freaking us out right now. We just had a really heartfelt moment.
Lionel's here.
Yeah, he's
See, like,
somewhere.
huh. Where are you, you little rat?
Zion, let's see. Before we delve into that, before we start looking around there, let's... Actually, no. Let's keep going with this. Let's see. Well, as you look around, go ahead. I guess. Let's see. I'm just going back to see what Zionel's last roll was. He had a 3. He had 3 successes on his roll to hide for cover. I'm going to say, if any of you want to roll insight plus security, then give me a. Well, yeah, give me an insight plus security roll. I'm going to, in compliment to Zionel's skills, I'm going to ask for one better than that and say it's a difficulty 4 roll.
Dang.
Also, while you're doing that, Ray, could you give me a control plus command roll, please? Okay.
Son of a
Oh
bitch.
no.
Okay. Let's see. For the complication there, would you like me to take threat? Would you prefer a narrative complication?
Sir, you know not to ask me this. It's always going to be narrative.
Certainly not.
Always.
No. All right. Let's see. So that is let's see. Just to check there, Traven, were you also trying to look for Zionel?
I can try.
You can give it a go here.
Do I get my survival focus?
You do.
And you said insight and security?
Yes, that's right.
Got 1.
We can have one together, babe.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's not going to be enough to kill anything. This issue here. I mean, you're not going to even be able to find Zionol, let alone any. Traven's not getting a shot on his disruptor, neither as well, for that matter. So, Zionol, you are confident that you remain in good position to assassinate anyone that you need to, but you're pretty sure.
Yeah, you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're pretty sure that, like, the, heartfelt moment that they are, the two of them are at least mentally and emotionally disarmed, if not physically, of course.
Yeah, the two of you can say with confidence that Zionol is not out in the open.
Yes.
Wait, what? Uh-oh.
So, Zionel, speaking of, you have been observing them, and you have a pretty good bead on all of them, but the noises that happened, contrary to Traven's wishful thinking, did not come from you. Something else has done something in here.
What do I sense?
Let's see. Do you want to reach out with your mind here? Would you like a task that can possibly get you some momentum?
That would be delightful. I think we could use some momentum.
Let's call it insight plus security.
Let's see. Focuses. Would my assassination focus come into play?
Not in this case.
Okay.
Okay. So, just checking that against this.
It wasn't a complication.
Yeah. It
That's the
was...
good part.
Yeah, it was a 16. The 16's not bad. So yeah, Zionel, you stretch out with your feelings. You look, you extend yourself to try and pick up on these readings. At that initial moment with that one success, you're trying to sift through the relative anxiety that Traven has, as well as any sort of like earnest or heartfelt approach he has trying to help his friend here, the care that comes with that. You also likewise spot out Woe, who is quite a complicated mix of emotions as you focus on her for a moment. There is, obviously, there's the great determination. There is unspeakable sadness, anxiety. There's a moment, just utter drag from what she felt in the moment that, Traven's words drew blood in a sense when she thought too hard on the horrible things that had happened to her, and she seemed genuinely struck with that. It's putting out a lot of emotional static, and it's difficult, and there's warmth to them, but there is cold as well. That cold, this can't be. The cold feels like it's coming in behind you, Zionol. Until there's there's a sudden change. Warmth coming in waves, like breath on your neck. And in that moment, Zionol,
Yes, in that moment, I find a Targ puppy. Yay!
in that moment, you find the clamp around your mind itself.
No, that's not a Targ puppy.
Well, hello there. Can I help you?
You know, perhaps you can. I was here looking for well, I don't know what exactly I was looking for. Something dangerous.
It seems you found it,
I suppose I have.
but you've made a horrific faux pas. See, you don't go into what's mine.
What's yours?
The voice goes quiet, and I would like to roll.
Well, I'll tell you what. And that is a lethal injury right there. So tell me, Zionol. Let's see.
I think that's at least 2 injuries on me.
Yeah.
There's more than 5, and I'm pretty sure that's more than my track.
No. Zionol, the vice becomes like you find that at the tips of the vice are the points extending in, claws rending into your very consciousness as it clamps down, and as the points cut through, your very essence feels as it is punctured, and in pours heat and rage and dreadful harm. Your every neuron in your body is now on fire. You have just enough of a moment to, as this entire situation is played out in your head, I will give you one lucid moment to say something aloud.
I would say Zional from his position where he's at shoots straight up, stands straight up, and just says, I think it's in my head. And then just collapses.
Oh god.
That at best,
Can I?
it at best comes out as Zional half standing and an incoherent noise as he tumbles down. Some combination of blood and drool coming out from his mouth. We get Zional jump scare.
Question: does Woe feel any of this residual energy burst?
I would say that as Zional collapses, a wave sort of washes over you, and you feel something's murderous intent has, or you feel that wave of murderous intent that came from Zional's direction.
Woe also collapses, also like almost in tandem with Zion. Try even find him. He's find him. She vomits a little bit. Find his idol. Something's wrong.
Did I hear Zional talk?
Yes, Zional, like, you heard indistinctly from his end of the car. Exactly.
Yes, that.
Yep. And the sound of him,
sexy.
like, sudden. Yes. The sound of him suddenly almost standing upright and putting out some indistinct struggling noise before falling loudly from his place in the boxes to, like, just clattering to the deck. And Woe falling shortly afterwards.
He's gonna reach down to Woe, grab her arm as best he can with his weak, frail body. Okay, 3 things. 1, I'm not leaving you. 2, I can't carry Zional's body. 3, even if I do find him, I need to get him back to the doctor.
Yeah, all right. And she stumbles to her feet and follows you to the source of the sound.
Yep. All right. Traven with a limping Woe behind you. You close the distance and make your way through the containers, finding Zional like face planted on the ground, having having collided and now just face down. He at least has the. I will grant him the dignity of not having landed to where he's, the face down, ass up situation. He's rolled off to a side.
Honestly, I'm okay if it's face down.
I didn't even think of that as an
Absolutely
option,
okay.
but now it is mandatory.
It's absolutely okay. I am with that.
Family
Alright.
Guy death pose.
Yep. He's at least not going the full Yamcha, so that's. Take your victories where you can get them, I guess.
Oh god, Traven, I don't feel anything. She leans forward to touch him, and then immediately draws her hand away. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. He's not alive. There's nothing there.
Traven, do you try to scan
Whoa.
and.
Oh no, this is an emergency situation. I turn to Woe. Woe, you need to pick him up now.
She nods and does as she's told, immediately grabbing Zional, like, by the back of the shirt, so she's just dragging him. She's not fully picking him up.
I'm gonna pull up the communicator, contact Kresic, and say, critical, incoming. We're on our way right now.
He's not alive. He's not alive. I don't feel anything. He's not alive. No.
We don't get to say that until Kresic says that. Remember that.
There's no way to save them. Everyone fucking dies. They all keep dying. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone's
No.
gonna die. Everyone's
Now
gonna
we know
die
it's
unless we
best
do
for-
something.
Now we know it's mental. That's the huge thing.
Okay. Okay, it's mental. It's not me. I'm not crazy. It's mental. Okay. Okay.
Now
Shit.
we need to run as fast as possible to Kresik. Don't drag him. He's gonna hit something.
She lifts him a little bit higher. Still kind of dragging his leg. He can't feel it. He's not alive. She follows Traven.
One of Zionel's nice boots gets caught on a box and is lost.
No, got the scuff. Got a scuff. He creased my Jordans.
All right.
Hang on, I need to message here.
All good, all good. Yeah. Just Zionel suffering from the worst in the worst set of minor indignities as he gets dragged out. So yeah, Traven, you feel like though you are starting to get a handle on this situation, and you realize that the thing that has come after Woe has or had seemed to relate to her has she was there definitively alongside you, and when Zionel suddenly struggled in the if this is the situation that the captain and Raldar found them in, then you have crucial insight. You can take this to the doctor. You might be able to save your friend. And just maybe you can get through this. Are you leading the way then out of the cargo bay?
Yes.
All right. You make your way up to that point, and then there's a sudden rush of like a rustling sound coming from behind you, and darkness takes your sight as the feel of fabric comes over your head and quickly constricts around you.
I'm sorry, it's the only way. It's not mental. She had to have manifested. It's not mental. I promise you, it's not mental.
With those moments, we go up to the transporter room, which, just to verify that this is the canon arrangement here, Azek, would you have heeded Woe's request to... tell you what, I'm going to... let me edit the arrangement here, because I am not entirely sure who would have all shown here. Well, Bahan I will place in here. Azek, you'd received the call from Woe to arrive in the transporter room with a disruptor in hand. And general request had gone out to everybody one by one to make their way there. So, Azek, would you have come with or rather, I don't know if Kelshaw necessarily came along, but would you have gone up? First Christian.
Yeah, I regret. Hesitantly, I would have gone up. Yeah.
Vopri is the one person who definitely wouldn't go, I'll say. But others can chime in here. Rev, were you going to say?
Provided the computer core is in a sufficiently operational state, Kelshaw would come.
Yeah, I would say it was relatively there. All the basic functions appear to be operational. Woe had even reassembled it partly before you'd come down to investigate, so that helps the situation. So, Killshaw can also be there. Let's see. Sean, would you like Dakoth, the captain's failed bodyguard? Or would you prefer Bahan in this case? Well, basically, the drunkard or the naive or inexperienced warrior, shall we say?
No, I'll do the drunk guy.
All right. Bahan, you had a carton for for constitution purposes, and you've got your emergency reserve at the ready. Your disruptor is... you're at least certain that you can hit anything in a vague direction.
Well, anything within 2 meters, probably.
Oh, good. Isaac, it's good to see you here, too.
All right.
Quick question. Does anyone want to play Dakoth, or should I yield Croker to our Klingon back to their main character? I'd hate to take it away from them.
Yes, that would be mighty greedy of you.
Right. So sorry about that.
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. I think it's that metaspeak condition. Just don't tell the doctor. He will check my ribs.
Look, the voices are arguing who gets to drive, okay?
No, I'd be fine if you played Croker. I enjoy your Croker monologue. They're great.
Fair enough. Well, let's see. I will at least...
Maybe Caligo can play Dakoth.
Did someone... Is someone playing Bahan?
Sean is playing
Sean.
Bahan.
Yeah.
Okay, good choice, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
I think I might put the disruptor on wide beam.
that seems pretty smart. Isaac, I must say, Dakoth says, I feel like, as senior-most officer that remains, I owe both my allegiance to you, but also my apologies. I have failed the captain and the previous captain. I have failed to do my part to keep this ship safe. I'm sorry for this.
Maybe we should execute him.
I beg you, if I am to die, then let me die to whatever faced the captain, whatever had deprived the captain of his life. Allow me the glory of whatever kill is to come.
That was a photon torpedo, too.
Yeah, Dakoth just kind of looks back, exasperated in a way that Klingons have mastered effectively.
Well, what? I'm speaking truth.
Azek walks up to him, looking him, just glaring needles at him. And he gets out his disruptor. He's got his disruptor in hand, and he points it right at his chest and pushes him up against the wall with it, kind of backing him into the wall with it. You will face this challenge, and it will die, or either you will die. Understood?
Yeah, kapla.
And yeah. So Azek will move his blaster down and back off a little bit.
Yep. Let's see. Kelshaw, observing this display here, any particular thoughts that you would have?
Just watching the power play that's happening, trying to figure out who's going to come up on top.
Yeah. Well,
Got to make sure to support the right person when the fighting breaks out.
Indeed. And realize for those in the game, I had not dropped the threat from earlier. The stream is up to date, but the rest are not. So let's see. So yeah, with that, it becomes a waiting game as you get set, as Croker monitors very carefully for a signal from Woe. This is the best assemblage of firepower you have available with your disruptors together, and you hope that you are able to make a successful go of it. That being said, Croker does see a a comm light coming on. Captain, Philpry is signaling from the bridge.
Go ahead, Vopra.
As I am just letting you know, I'm continuing to try and compensate, but internal sensors are still not properly functional. I'm trying to monitor any other signs of issues in the systems. See if I can give us any sort of other tracking. In particular, I am running. I am trying to run looks through secondary diagnostic equipment. I figured I might be able to detect any strange things that way.
Good thinking. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yes, that was the first thing that Tabok did. But thus far, I have seen no signs of the unusual energy signature. However, the only unusual thing I am monitoring is a slight increase in nadion particles in some of the secondary life support systems. It is not to any level that would be harmful. Well, I will keep an eye open and I will send word, although, as I understand, Woe may be taking initiative on getting the signal. Yes, that is the plan.
If things go south and worst case scenario, feel free to hop into an escape pod and set self-destruct for the ship.
Oh, escape pods.
We have escape pods?
The captain showed you one of them.
Oh, you just feel Vopry's heart sink as he just shrinks physically.
Or die with the ship. That's fine. I mean, if you know.
I just want to be alone right now. The line cuts out. And Ezek, you get the sense that you have very much not reinforced the morale here.
Is there a role for that?
There is, but I think that Vopry is presently off the grid here.
Inconsolable.
Yeah. He wasn't doing too great last time, and the fact that he was of any help now was almost a fluke. In any case, let us cut back to the cargo bay, and more specifically to the Theater of the Mind, or the Theater of the Sack in this situation. Traven...
Let's never say that conglomerate.
Yeah, let's never, ever call it Theater of the Sack.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That has some very, very bad connotations, sir.
That's going on the first run of T-shirts for Star Trek Adventures.
Yes, Theater of the Sack.
Along with "Don't Eat the Captain."
Yes.
Yep. That and
tapioca for everyone.
Can we not just Gog Pocket? Let's just Gog Pocket.
Yep. A one-armed...
You could put Gok on your pocket for your shirt. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Alright, well, Traven, you have been stuffed in this sack like so much Gok in a pocket. Oh. That would have worked if I had been able to keep it together more.
No, it made it better. I promise.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes.
I feel like we should get momentum for that pun.
We are not doing that. That one was too glorious. In fact, we gained glory from that pun, so don't even try that.
We have never gotten momentum from puns. In fact, we have been, intended, we have been punished for puns.
Exactly.
Okay, you can't.
That's what I'm saying. We should be
preface a
rewarded
pun
for
with
this
no
one.
pun intended. You have to end a pun with no pun intended. Otherwise, it's very much intended.
Anyways, sacking theaters.
Okay.
Traven, you are at any rate quite helpless in the situation as the bag has been brought down over you, has fully enveloped your limbs, and like very quickly yanked. And I dare say that Woe, strong as she is, was probably able to throw you a little off your feet. If you'd like to try and do anything here, talking does count as a free action. You can try to persuade Woe. If you try, you could try to regain like some semblance or try to resist the situation. Though Woe outside does have a bit of an advantage at the moment.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
I don't have a knife or anything to break out.
I don't think so, unfortunately. Your kitchen equipment was all left upstairs.
Yeah, some people keep using momentum.
Hey, don't look at me. I'm dead.
I guess while Traven's pondering this, Woe, have you said anything more to Traven from outside the sack?
She's partially trying to convince herself as she talks to him. This is the only way. I can't let people keep dying just because of me. I know it's not mental, okay? Just believe me when I say it has to be done. It has to be done like this. I know you don't believe me. It's we have to do this. It'll be okay. It'll all work out, and you can be really mad at me, and you can poison my food. It's fine. I don't mind.
Tempting offer.
Yeah. So yeah, Traven, through the slightly muffled circumstance, you get this basic madness mantra rattling over and over again in some variation.
It'll be fine. We've got this. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I'll fix it. I'll fix everything. It'll be fine. I'll fix everything.
Up until the moment that it stops. And there's a noticeable thickness of tension that seems to hang in the air. As another voice, very similar, but yet not quite Woe's, seems to greet her. The two of you are not alone in here.
My, what have you got there for me? I don't have anything. This isn't for you. This is for me. I'm going to eat this one. Really? I thought you were vegetarian. No, no, that's not. Please just let me have this one. Please let me just have him. He's harmless. He can't do anything. It's okay. He's harmless. He can't do anything. It's okay. Give him here. Put him down and give him here. Traven, we've got to run. I'm gonna run. It's okay. We're gonna we're not gonna run. That's right, you're not gonna run. We're not gonna run. We're just gonna walk away slowly and everything will be fine and I'll fix it. Okay? She is kind of trying to get her comm communication to contact Croker. Is it working?
Yeah, Traven, you make out vaguely from the sound, like from through the muffling, the sound of frantic tapping of the most frantic tapping of the let's see. Frantic tapping of Woe's wrist communicator. She's executing her plan. She has this thing exactly where she needs it to be and is ready to spring her plan. And in as that proceeds there, you feel the sudden lunge of cold metal puncturing through the bag and through your middle.
No! Why would you do that? No, he's my friend! No! Draven, I'm sorry!
Let's see, Traven, that is
I'm still alive, technically.
8
That's
points.
stress, though.
8 points of stress with a lethal injury, which does mean I have to drop some more threat here. Or, wait a minute. Did I build it with this? Oh no, Killer Instinct, so, wait, no, that's not it. Oh, yeah, I don't actually have to drop threat for Killer Instinct, so that works. I keep those points.
And
also,
greedy little threat catcher. Huh?
Yep. I technically also beat a difficulty of 1 on that roll there, so that's more threat back to the GM. Yeah, Traven. Yeah, the blow is lunged through, sharp and cold as the bayonets you expected that Tabo had seen back during the war. That the pain lances out all the same, as sure as what Reldam felt when he fought on the first ship to rescue his crew from alien raiders. As a terror begins to grasp, as haunting as it was when you know not if it was exactly a poison back in your first progenitor's day, or if the diplomat had been, as the stories say, struck down by simple, unfortunate allergy. But the experience is a common one, as blood trickles from your midsection, and the blade begins to curve upward and press further into your other organs.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, real quick, at this point, Woe has probably dropped the sack and is trying to get him out of it. Or she's trying to lunge away from the blade. Would that all be something I could, like, roll for?
I'll let you try to. Let's see. Are you lunging towards the source of the blade, that is, to try and dislodge it here?
No, I'm lunging away to try and avoid him getting stabbed further.
Okay, let's call this fitness and security. Difficulty. Let's call it. Well, since he's already been stabbed at this point, I'll set it to difficulty 3 to try and do so without causing too much more of an issue. Yeah, the Traven, whatever Woe is trying to do, because you do feel some forward momentum, you can imagine that whatever follows with the heavy thuds of feet from outside suggests that the blade still follows in turn, as if mocking both you and most especially her efforts to save you from this situation. Is there any further exchange beyond the bag, Woe? Anything Traven would hear?
In his
It has
last
to be
moments.
done. We know it was going to happen eventually. You packed him so nicely and neatly for me. I didn't mean to. I didn't think you were going to kill him. I thought I could fix everything. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Draven. I'm sorry. That's the extent of that conversation.
Yep.
May I use a determination?
What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna. Well, I need to do it to resist the injury to stay alive for at least one more turn.
I think,
Is that possible?
I figure that would come into play. And yeah, I think I will allow that. And I'll actually go so far as to say, if you do that, you will hear something else of import. So, what value would you be invoking to avoid this lethal injury?
Helping hands. My goal is to, with my last words, keep Woe sane enough to take on this problem.
Do you have anything else? I feel like
I have For Honor and Glory and Troubling Secrets.
yeah, I guess helping hands works.
You don't sound so convinced, boss.
It's more I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to find the best value but square it best, and I think that the explanation works. So yeah, we'll say that the blade pulls away for a moment, and you know that you might not have long for this, but you do at least get your hands over the wound and start applying pressure, hoping to hold out. As you do, you hear you hear beeping noises, the sort of which would tell you that Woe's wrist communicator is broadcasting a signal. And at this point, I think that we are going to relocate back to the transporter room, where a beeping has likewise taken hold on the console, and at Croker's console. Oh, Azek, the time has come. The time for glory and for vengeance. For those we loved. It's here.
There's a sound, and everybody looks over, and I'm popped what looks like a soda can. Yeah, let's do this. Oh.
All right. You ready for this, Azek?
Today's stream is brought to you by Bush.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but what do we need to do?
Well, I have the
activate self-destruct.
No. This is the disruptor. I have the signal from Woe. I've locked on transporters, and I'm using that. I'm piggybacking off that signal to beam this thing into the transporter room. Soon we
stop talking and do it.
Engaging transporters. Croker engages the beam, and in a moment the pads illuminate, and a great curtain of yellow-orange energy takes hold, and something begins to materialize on the pad. As it gets... It is of quite some size, of great concern. No wonder such a mighty thing fell Tabak, but then you realize, as it begins to take further shape, that this thing... This shouldn't have left the room that it is in all the time, and that there is... It doesn't make sense. How could it have suddenly made its way... How could it have made its way around that way? The transporter finishes materializing and sat on the platform, grumbling and hungry. The large mutant clone of Raldar is now with you.
I thought he was friendly.
So, do we shoot it?
Hungry.
How long does it take the transporter pad to recharge?
I'll do it now. Would you permit me a turn to run this task?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Croker immediately attempts to recycle the transporter, And wait, this can't be. I'm getting some sort of error. The transporter is non-responsive.
So do we shoot it?
Caligo, what does Dar do next as this sumptuous feast is before you?
You know, there's so many good options. Yeah, he's lunging for a good old friend right here. He's starving. He's not hungry, he's starving.
Ribs. Okay, Dar, that is daring plus security, and I'm positive that you have a focus for it.
Oh, yes. Security? Wow.
Girl.
Let's see. Let me make sure. Just because they should be out right now. I will roll for Dakoth as he tries to keep this thing away. I'll tell you what. Let's just see how Dakoth does as he tries to brawl his way out of this situation. Or better yet, he does try to shoot with his disruptor.
Oh, shit.
And he is easily able to pull the trigger, but he was not privy to the complication that I bought at the very beginning of last session. As he pulls the trigger, and nothing comes out of the disruptor. Ka-cha! And, yeah, with that, Dakoth is quickly set upon by Dar. Dar, you may roll to chomp.
All right, chomp.
So that quickly... Would you be going for a lethal blow there?
Of course.
I will...
Kind of hard for Dar to eat somebody if they're not killing them.
Yep.
That's specifically a human talent.
So that's 6 points of stress there, definitely, as the... tell me, Dar, when he goes for the lunge, when he goes in for the midsection, or if he sticks with that, how would you say he starts tearing the koha apart?
I'd say it was a full body lunge. He is pushing him into the transporter console as he rips mouthfuls of flesh from the cough.
Yep. So as this happens, Dakoth screams in pain, or more howls in pain as the biting just gets at every artery. Blood sprays over the console and into Croker's face. Kelshaw, Azik, and Bahan are left to watch this horror unfold as the young warrior...
Gonna stand there and watch. I might be drunk. I'll pull my knife and stab him.
Okay.
Again, someone's gonna have to roll dice for me. I do not have that option right now.
I've got you taken care of. Bahan is going to charge in, go for a stab, drunkenly running towards him, knife in hand. Would I be correct to presume that you are going for a lethal blow, Sean?
Absolutely, positively.
Very good. I will take a point of threat, but I'll hold on to it, or I'll reserve it from the pool because I imagine Dar might strike one in kind. And oh no, you didn't complicate, but the
blade skated across the scoots on the back of his neck, didn't it?
Bahan rolled an 18 and a 19.
He's drunk too, so you know.
Yep. Dar, you...
That was
Sorry, Dar, you may roll daring and security in kind as more food comes to you. Oh, geez. That's 3 successes right there.
God damn, Dar. Calm down.
My boy.
Dar, as the Nausicaan decides he's going to be your next course, well, roll damage and decide how you want to dispatch this one.
This one is going to be with the claws because his mouth was full.
oh, didn't want to be rude. Okay.
Okay,
He's
that...
still he's swallowing.
Yeah, so that is... that's 3, 4, 6 points of damage. So that is a lethal... that is sufficient for another lethal injury.
Do I have determination?
I have to check whether Bahan had a value going into this whole situation. Chances are low because
Yeah,
because
I'm grasping at straws before I die. again.
nobody loved Bahan enough to do anything with him. And yeah, he is very much without. And yeah, with that, the claws grasp out, and would you be going for like crushing the windpipe, just slashing along?
I'd prefer if he just disemboweled him, and then I can spend my last remaining moments trying to put my intestines back inside.
That sounds like a plan.
Let's do that.
He was bent over eating, so he swiped back at the nuisance.
Yep. So yeah, Bahan is now falling to the floor, collecting his entrails. As meanwhile, I avoid saying something very unfortunate about Dar and Dekoth there. But yeah,
Damn it. Give us the unfortunate cut.
Absolutely not.
Son of a bitch.
Damn.
Dar has, we'll say Dar has finished enough of his meal that Dekoth has lost novelty. The turn is back to you now.
Boy eats fast, don't he?
All right, I'm gonna go over to the transporter controls and try to lock on to him.
There's no power.
More specifically, Azek, what you're seeing is you go over to the panel. It seems as though the controls have just completely frozen up, and that the beaming sequence, there's no way to target, there's no way to even execute a basic dematerialization or rematerialization feature. This console it's somehow been bricked.
It was made by Tesla.
Tabak and Raldar haven't been around to maintain it for the past several hours, so the old bird must have given out.
Plans obsolescence.
Is there so there's no power to it at all?
It's
Control systems aren't functioning.
It's powered, but it's the console's basically not responding at all.
Do the math. All right. Hell, I'll just shoot at the clone. I was gonna do something that the other Azek would have done, but I'm not the other Azek, so best thing I've got is just to shoot at him with my disruptor.
You pull your disruptor pistol and attempt to take a shot.
Yep.
All right. Well, actually, this is part of the negative scene trait that had come into play. As Dekoth had already learned, pulling the trigger, the disruptor is actually not emitting. It's not emitting its usual burst either. Something has gone dreadfully wrong here.
No juice.
We have just one momentum.
That is the case.
Is there any way to spend? We need two to add a trait into this scene, right? Roughly.
You could give me a point of threat, or you could expend your determination.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I would like to smash the transporter console and try to set my phaser to overload if I can. The idea is to just have it explode like a grenade. It and the console to deal damage to the big guy.
I find your proposition interesting.
So essentially, you want to pull the pin and then fall on your grenade.
Well, I don't know what else to do.
That's, Azek, I commend that. I will say, do you want to invoke your determination here, or would you prefer the momentum and threat combo?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
actually,
invoke
this could be a task, actually, because you're trying to create an advantage to basically make sure this beast dies here and now.
Yep.
All right, I will ask you for a control plus, or actually no, daring plus, let's call this engineering, actually. Because this is you having to wedge something in the wrong place and hope that it blows up.
Can I use either my inspiration or shipboard tactical systems as a focus, maybe?
I'll give you the moment of inspiration as you are seized
Okay.
by the songs of your ancestors. You will not
Okay.
die in such a horrible way today. You will assert yourself. But let's call
They shall sing songs of our bravery in for many years to come.
Yep. Well, let's see. I will expend 3 points of threat to create to raise the complication range up to 3.
All right, I'm gonna spend one momentum for a third die.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, thank you.
That is 3 successes. So let's see. That will earn you back a point of momentum. And that will so that is going to create effectively an area explosive. Would you like to add any other would you like to add any other effect to that damage, Azek?
Can we push him as far back onto the transporter pad as we can, just so he's away from everybody?
I'll add knockback to it. So
That'd be it.
all right. Well, guys, I hope that everybody has I hope everybody's enjoyed being around here. One other question, Azek, is this lethal?
Do Klingons have any other setting?
That's fair. I will take a point of threat.
See, I don't think you should get threat. We're Klingons. We're supposed to kill people.
There's a talent for it, Sean. Azek, to your credit, your plan works perfectly, as you manage to find the energy current in the EPS grid and break through as horrid screams pass through, with Dar fighting the survivors, Croker and Kelshaw's rage crying out. You manage just to wedge the disruptor into the right place that the cell begins to overheat and melt, that the plasma starts to leak, and in a few moments, the console explodes immediately around you. That, unfortunately, does mean that everyone in close range to it is taking the hit. So everybody there is effectively taking 6. Let's see. That's 15 points of stress.
Dar might live.
Vaporized door.
So I will ask Dar. Caligo, just message me back on the stress point there. Account for resistance. Azik, I'm pretty sure that would fill up your stress track. Though if you still have determination, you could technically survive it.
No, he goes out with a blaze of glory on it, because I think I've used all my determination.
No, fair enough.
To Stovokor with you, sir.
To the stovetop.
I hope they have Gawk pockets.
Nope, sorry, Grothor.
Yep. But as the transporter console explodes, spraying the area with shrapnel and plasma, with flame that rushes over, Azik, your hope is that you can perhaps have met some honorable end. And yet, even with the flames, you feel a cold malice as sight in this life passes out. I am dropping 2 threat for reasons that will become apparent later.
So what? The only people left alive right now are going to be Resic and Woe, right?
Well, technically, Traven is still bleeding out in the cargo bay, or more aptly, in his bag here. And you definitely feel, Traven, the sudden shaking of the ship as something rumble, as a dull rumble is felt through the deck plates. The blood is coming out. It is not something that you are able to fully compress with the terrible jagged wound. You know that you do not have much left in you now. That is to say, fight or life remaining. Is there anything you want to try and do, Traven?
You said talking's a free action, right?
I'll give you a bit of time here.
I don't need a little bit. Just a little tab.
All right.
I'm gonna cough up blood. I'm gonna look to Woe. Don't you ever apologize for something that somebody else did. This isn't you. This is somebody else completely. You did what you could and what you thought was right. Never forget that. And even if we lose, fight them. Kick their ass. Make them regret every single decision that they made here today. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get the Stovacor, and I'm going to throw a punch at the big dude. Fighting to my last second.
You try to throw a punch in the direction that you think something is not completely wormed out of the bag and thus only vaguely certain where anyone is. I'll give you a daring plus security roll with a, I'll just say natural complication range of 2 right now, since you can't see anything and you are bleeding out. Yeah, that's about what I expected. As
Yeah.
you throw the punch, you fall forward, and having not connected whatsoever. Now on your knees, and just supported by her hand as the blood continues to stream out. In spite of it all, the symbiote, the past Lexes, they know that the fight is over, and while they regret they will not carry on what they could previously do, you can feel there is some semblance of pride, some moment of warmth, and even that of your last host, your old mentor. His big bushy beard, broken up by a smile, as he reaches out a hand to your shoulder. Dear. And he is cut off by as a blade plunges through a different segment of your abdomen and cuts right through the symbiote.
Ooh.
Well, that was tedious.
Thanks for the fast crack the stove a cord. And he's gonna die.
Yeah.
You hear outside the sack. How many times do I have to stab this bitch before he stops making noise?
Stop shouting! Die already!
And with
Pop
that,
goes the weasel.
Traven falls into darkness. The explosion was likewise felt. Just a couple decks down, and hold on, let me correct the imagery here. As let's see. The explosion was likewise felt in sickbay. As Kresic, you felt the ship shake, lights shudder, and I'd say even a residual explosion from or a bit of sparking from like an EPS conduit that had some thinner spot in the room. You can tell something has clearly gone very badly, Doctor.
Not good. Not good at all. So Kresic, he's done a couple of things. That's what he's been trying to do over this time. First off, he was doing research, trying to see if there's anything that matches the information that he's received from the brain scans. But he's not just going through the standard medical journals. He's also going through like the Ferenginar Inquirer and the Bolian Onion and all of these tabloids with like fantastical things to see if there's anything that matches in theory and idea of what these scans were giving.
Unfortunately, that nothing beyond nothing really makes sense with what you have seen at this point, Kresic. The energy, such as you would expect it to have interacted with a life form. You would expect that this would, this much, it would probably kill most. Maybe for someone of Woe's physiology, it would just manage to incapacitate her, but it certainly wouldn't tie in. It doesn't neatly explain any suspicions you or others may have had about the Gazinti or anything else. There's just so much strange, and there's been so little time to ponder this situation.
The other thing he would have been wanting to do would have been to try to get one of his cortical stimulants and trying to, at the very least from the patterns that he received, try to create something that could at least negate or reduce the severity of those patterns.
Indeed. So, Would you still just be working from your office? Would you aim to head out at this point?
He's still in his office.
Okay. You hear from, well, I'm going to say instead that a sensor reads out basically, well, rather, I think sound would still carry from sickbay to your office, so I would suspect that you would hear basically or you would hear a very loud thud against the sickbay door.
Kresic to crew of the Yawn. Status report.
There is no response.
Then he is just going to continue working.
Another very loud thud against the door.
Kresic to the crew of the Yawn. Status report.
There is no response.
He's going to keep working.
Let's see. I am going to ask the person I have just messaged to give me a daring plus fitness plus security roll. The door screeches as it begins to undergo a significant strain, and it is slowly but steadily forced apart, lumbering through, badly scarred with burns, and lumbering in with grievous injuries across its legs. A large, mutated Gorn, bearing the likeness of your former chief engineer.
Kresic gets up, goes to his door, hits the communicator. What happened? Why are you here?
Similar.
Kresic, I'm going to ask you for one insight and medicine roll here.
Oh, great. Inside? Any of my focuses apply?
I'm sure that something would apply here.
Okay. Emergency medicine, perhaps?
I think that it's loose, but I'll give it to you.
It says kill Shaw, but does not kill Shaw.
Yep. Kresic, with the careful examination of the Gorn, you realize, for many a time where you've seen many wounds in the past, that amid some of these wounds, amid some of the discoloration, not all of it is from burns and the scoring of shrapnel, and not all the blood you can make out is purely his own. Indeed, blood of all manner of different species coats his claws and his jaws.
The crew. What happened to the crew?
So hungry. Then, boom.
Are you still hungry?
No. Just hurts.
Kressik's going to grab his weapons. He's going to grab his nasty little medical injector, medical kit. Open the door and step out.
Okay. Let me just take a look at one quick thing here. Alright. Kressik, you step out. The large, lumbering figure is, it, like, wobbles uncertainly. Probably a bit, you would suspect, with all the injuries he sustained, that he must surely be approaching some sort of shock.
Sit down.
As it closes as you close the distance with it, and as it begins to sit down, I'll allow something. We'll just say Dar takes a seat on the nearest bio bed, and Kressik, you get situated on another one. Or you get situated over here with your medical gear careful and at the ready, with your weapons nearby. Then let's pass this over to player initiative.
Who's the player?
That'd be you.
I mean, there's two players. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. There's two players.
There could be a third here if you'd like.
No, I'm good.
I'd better check just to make sure I'm not excluding anybody. Ray, you have any thoughts?
I will wait patiently, unless we need to hurry up, in which case I will not wait.
Hey, we are running a little close to time here. But that said, Kressik, you could.
Kressik would basically sedate him. That would be the first thing.
You go in with your injector at the ready. Dar, the doctor, is closing with his big, sharp medical object. You remember many of these from when you first gained consciousness, or you were first aware back when you were just the monster.
This will ease the pain.
He is uncertain, but the pain clouds him too much to really resist.
Right. Kressik,
Purely by the factor that he smells the most like Reldar, despite many differences.
Despite being the cooler Raldar.
Ooh, the girlies are fine.
All right, Kressik.
Okay, so I rolled my melee attack.
Just kidding. We love you.
Yep. Kressik, you may roll control or daring plus medicine and administer the sedative. I'm going to say at this point it is difficulty 1. He is not going to be contesting you. You get 3 successes, which means 2 points of momentum back. And Kressik, you see the large lumbering figure start to become drowsy, a little more helpless now, as his injuries are subdued.
Then he would start doing his medical work, scanning, tissue regeneration, the usual stuff.
Incidentally, I might have given you momentum as you were drawing it too. So.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
That's partly my bad. So yeah, Ray, do you want in at this point?
Yes, I think instead of what I asked for, I'm just going to be standing in the doorway. You didn't notice because
Yep.
you are busy.
And the doorway is not opening automatically because it was wrenched open manually by the Gorn. But Krusek, as the doctor, as you've played your role as doctor here, tending to your patient, you see ahead of you another one. The major patient you have dealt with for some time now, since her rescue.
Whoa, what happened?
I'd like just a little flair. Is it okay if I am dragging the bodies of Traven and Zymel, one in each hand, and just kind of drop them like duffel bags?
We can do that.
Nice. Well, hard to say. Seems nothing is going at all even remotely okay today. She smiles, her head cocks. What's this all about?
I don't know. He came in injured, having fought. I get blood from Klingon and Nausicaan on his skin.
Well, isn't that special? GM, can I roll to do something? Who has died and come back?
I did. Discord finally crashed on my computer.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, my computer is dying slowly and painfully.
Yes, sir. That is exactly what I was looking for.
Did I miss anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, crap dang it. Mr. DM, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, my mic was off. That's
Okay.
my bad. So let's see. Yeah, that was supposed to be control plus command. That'd be a 13. So yeah, that would still
Oh,
succeed.
control and command. I never heard you say that. Can I re-roll that to fit security online?
I mean, you can't. You succeeded with it, but if you want to make it a technical thing, then go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of do, even though it works in my favor.
Let's. Yeah. Just roll with it.
There you go.
Okay, still 13, or still below that. So.
Yep. Right. As she has her head cocked, looking at Kresik, she casually stabs Dar through the back of the throat, and it comes out the front of his neck. And then she retracts the blade and lets him bleed out. And looks at Kresik. Thanks for making that easy. I'm so tired of it being so sad. She pushes the body off the table and takes its place sitting. How have you been?
Kressig's running the numbers right now. Likelihood of him leaving this room alive.
There's always a vanishing chance that there would be a good explanation, but the situation, things have gone extremely bad aboard the Yon, and you and Woe seem to be the lone ones who struggle with it. She's left a
He
question.
watches all of that. Wait, go ahead, sorry.
Hey, go ahead.
He watches all of that. He sighs. Tired. And I need a drink. And
To the galley.
no, he starts to walk back into his office.
She follows.
Pulls out from his chest a bottle and a couple of glasses. Sets it down. Fills them both up. Passes her one.
I figure it like this. She closes her eyes, savors some of the smell of the drink he's handed her, even though it smells like just the worst drink, and then throws it back. And then as if getting off the ship her eye. May as well make it easy. She looks at
Why?
him.
Explain this to me.
Everyone just keeps stalling over and over again. I would consider this like a mercy killing. She laughs and then immediately slams the paw over her mouth like she just did something horrible. I didn't mean to say that. I did. I did mean to say that. I didn't mean to laugh at that. That wasn't funny. She looks back at him. I don't want you to die. And I don't want you to die like everyone else has died. Everyone else keeps dying. I figured it would just be easier if I just came and did it myself. Well, not easier. Not at all easier, but less bad. For you. Her hand shaking around the glass as she takes another sip.
No.
She smiles as she sips. I figured you'd say no. He's strong like that. You stab him. Keep talking. Always liked your voice.
Aren't you tired of failing over and over again?
I mean, from the viewpoint of everyone dying, I'd say this is a wonderful success. We all failed spectacularly here. I mean, as far as failures go, I am. She smiles back at him. Her eyes are strained and bloodshot, and she's very much the most disheveled, stinking bag of flesh ever. But you've never failed. You've always been very precise. I've never considered you a failure.
You haven't known me. Not really.
Well, that's my lot in life. And if it makes you feel any better, you haven't known me. Not even. You've known half of me, but you haven't known all of me. You know, she smiles, as if she's telling you some kind of conspiracy. Rose, not even my real name.
Really?
Yeah.
Then what is it?
Give me 1 second, darling. And she sets the drink down.
And I will ask you to roll me a daring plus security.
Actually, I'd like to burn a determination for this one.
Okay. Which value are you tapping?
You are the monster that others make you.
I will accept. Are you taking the auto-critical success?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you need any threat?
No. He stands up and sets the drink down and picks up or looks at eyeballs. Sorry, she looks at the very large sword that she used to stab Dar through the neck with. My name, and she looks at the doctor, is Cleve. And with that, she slams it down in the middle of his head.
Daring plus security. And Doc, if you...
Damn it! Did it not roll?
Oh, no,
It did not roll.
It did not.
Son of a bitch!
All right. I can get this going if you need to.
I did it.
Okay. Yep, that is 5 successes. Doctor, would you like to try and contest?
Yes. I'm going to spend a momentum to get an additional. I'm going to spend 3 momentum to get 2 additional die.
Girl.
That was not that great.
Girl.
That's not going to do it. Since we're at time, pretty much, would you object if we fiat the end here?
I would just like to, yeah, if you're okay with it, I would like to spend my determination. Narratively, I'm still gonna die.
Yeah.
Do
your bit here.
Okay.
Last cutting remark.
My determination for the value life and death obey me. Where by the time that the knife impacts Kressik's skull, he's already dead from the poison he ingested. Nobody gets to kill him in his own laboratory. He does not give them permission to do that.
Well, with that, though it is uncertain to you, Woe, as to whether the doctor goes, the blade that bears the blood of the Gorn, and the Rantal, and the Trill, it cleaves through the old doctor's head, and he slumps back. And for a moment, you find yourself alone. But never truly alone, are you?
Not here, you're not. Sorry. So sorry.
Not here in this place. More aptly, not as the machine cycles through, and as the Kazin look over a console, the other end. I dare say, for the first time, breaking across Phil's face is a smile.
About time. It's quite enough of this toddling about. Now we see real progress. We see potential. Keg, Can't quit dilly-dallying. Look at me.
Yes.
Set it again. I want to observe the second time.
The second time?
The second of many. He smiled.
And that, I think, is where we will end tonight's session. So we hope that you have we hope you have enjoyed this most spooky and grim affair. And we shall be back for one more adventure this season. We hope you join us then.